Gonzaga goes to 30-0.
Right now on Up with KREM, it's all smiles for the Zags this morning. For the second time in program history, they are headed to the Final Four.
Good morning from downtown Indianapolis. Brenna, of the 68 teams that started on the big bracket behind us, only 4 remain.
Yep, and we know Gonzaga is one of them. We'll be live from Indy all morning.
Kevin, something happened to one of the referees.
And a scary moment at the Elite Eight game. This morning, we check in with a referee that collapsed during the game.
The Bulldogs have been on a 22-year run in the NCAA tournament. This morning, we're talking with a former player and cheerleader who've been part of the team that started it all.
Up with KREM starts right now with Joshua Robinson, Jeremy Legoo, and Dana Marie McNichol.
The Zags are heading to the Final Four, and it's our team, our town, our time.
Yeah, good morning. Welcome to Up with KREM. We are stoked this morning as we're taking a look at how the Zags got to celebrate that decisive win yesterday.
It was decisive.
Yeah.
The Zags seem pretty stoked about the win, of course. Take a look at this video, and of course, we're sure feeling all of that excitement and energy still later this morning. Maybe a little bit sleepy for some of our crews that are normally not with us in the morning hours, but we're so glad to have them here with us. You can see we do have team sports coverage this morning on Up with KREM.
Yeah, we are joined by a bunch of new friendly faces this morning. Mark Hanrahan and Brenna Green joining us from Indianapolis today. They've got the latest continuing coverage of last night's Elite Eight game, and they're telling us how fans who traveled to Indy are reacting.
Yeah, we're also joined by Karthik Venkatraman here at KREM. He's taking a closer look at Gonzaga's most historic season yet and what the Zags can expect in the Final Four against Joshua's favorite team.
Oh,
Is there some sarcasm there?
Hey, Brenna, Mark, please take this away. I hate UCLA, and I love that they're the heavy underdogs. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness, this Zag team is pretty darn good. They are now 2 wins away from a national title. Can you imagine? That'd be amazing.
I believe they are 13-point favorites against UCLA on Saturday. It's somewhere around there. It might be off a point or two, but it's somewhere in that neighborhood.
Right.
So yeah, Joshua, you might not have to worry that much. There is an old adage in coaching, though. All coaches say all the time, we're taking it one game at a time. Mark Few, though, he wants to amend that phrase for this NCAA tournament. He's taking it one celebration at a time.
No, hey, look, man, everybody wants to just keep moving this thing forward, but that's just not how we roll.
Mark Few, in a way, is determined not to roll. He's determined to be present in the moment of making his second Final Four as a head coach.
This is a heck of an accomplishment. We're going to take it and savor it for what it is. That doesn't lessen our desire to win the next game or to win 2 more games, but we're smart enough and or wise enough to know that, these are really, really special times.
Those special times include a special player. Drew Timmy once again had a dominant performance. He showed he was no match for USC's Evan Mobley, who many have as a top 5 NBA draft pick. Timmy had 23 points against the Trojans and was named the West Region's most outstanding player.
He always figures out a way to get to his shot. And it's not the same shot every time. As watching him, it's a different move, different shot each and every time.
Overall, the team's defense shined against USC as well. The Trojans just couldn't get in a rhythm in the first half, and by halftime, the game was essentially over.
When we lock in on that end, we can be excellent. So, that's a piece that we've really tried to improve on. And I think that is, helping us a lot in some of these wins that we've got in the past couple of games.
Jalen Suggs did take a second to reflect on his process of coming to Gonzaga postgame. With a national championship within his grasp, he, like few, knows these are special times.
Looking back on it, this is the best decision I've ever made. I miss football every day, but I couldn't see myself anywhere but here right now.
One of the interesting elements about covering this tournament this year is the coronavirus restrictions, right? The players and teams, they remain in the bubble. Capacity at all the venues, Lucas Oil Stadium, capped at 25%. So you kind of wondered, was there going to be that game time, really excitement, the atmosphere there? And I can say that, yes, yesterday there was.
Yeah, and the small but mighty Gonzaga section in the stands, they were very vocal. They were having a great time yesterday. It was a party at Lucas Oil for them. It was also a party for the fans outside after the game, and you got to talk to them.
I love it. I can't wait for Final Four to see. This next game's gonna be great too, Michigan and UCLA. But the Zags never a doubt from the start.
I used to go to the University of Kentucky too. The best team I'd ever seen till this one was the Reps Reds back in '65. So this is really a great team.
Timmy had his way down low, and I think they could have had 10 guys on the floor, and it wouldn't have made a difference.
What about you?
Yeah, agree. Chief, go Bulldogs!
Gonzaga all the way. Yes, Gonzaga all the way.
Is this the best Gonzaga team you guys have seen?
Yes.
Well, this is Gonzaga's second Final Four as a program. The last one was in 2017. I was there as a fan, actually.
Yeah.
It didn't quite go according to plan for the Zags, but obviously they've learned a lot from that Final Four, and also, I don't know if they even need to learn a lot from that Final Four. They're so good this year that it just feels like it's clicking on all cylinders. It's just, it feels like a win, not an if, when they win the national championship.
We keep saying historic, and maybe that sounds like we're using that term a lot, but Gonzaga's 30-0 right now. I mean, they have just walked through every one of their games thus far. Their 4 games so far, they haven't even been close whatsoever.
Yes, and just looking for that undefeated season now, the first one in 45 years.
All right, next up for the Zags, UCLA. That game takes place on Saturday. You can watch it right here on KREM 2. Joshua, Tim, we'll send things back to you.
All right, guys, thanks so much. And we also have Karthik this morning. He's breaking down some of the most stats from Gonzaga's historic season. Good morning, Karthik.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Yeah, we all know this has been an incredible season for Gonzaga. When you look deeper, though, you start to appreciate how amazing this team really is. First and foremost, Gonzaga remains undefeated at 30-0. They have won 30 games in 5 straight seasons. That is an NCAA record for the most consecutive 30-win seasons, and they did this in a pandemic-shortened season. That is pretty crazy in itself. The Zags have also won 27 games in a row now by double digits. That extends their own NCAA record. The last single-digit game that they had was earlier this season to West Virginia. And while that one might have been a double-digit win too if Jalen Suggs didn't get hurt and miss most of that game, he did return. And of course, GU closed it out with the win. This is the second Final Four ever for the Zags, as Mark and Brenna just mentioned. The other appearance, as they also mentioned, 2017 in Phoenix. They advanced to the championship game where they lost to North Carolina. However, I will one-up that graphic. The thing about that is Gonzaga's now gone to the Final Four now with this thing that happened last night 2 times in the last 5 seasons. Only 2 other teams have ever done that before, or in the past 5 seasons rather. Villanova and North Carolina, both those teams claimed a national championship in that span. So is GU up next? That's the question.
And Karthik, you bring that point up. We're talking two other colleges that are historically major players in the basketball tournament every year. So Gonzaga really joining some elite company with that new statistic you just brought up, right?
I really feel like people need to start putting, when they mention the blue bloods of college basketball, Gonzaga has to be up there. I mean, the way that they're succeeding, the way that they're recruiting, all these things put together, I mean, they're right there. The only thing they're missing is that national championship, and it seems like they're well on their way to get that this year.
I think they'll do it.
Yeah.
All right, Karthik, thanks so much.
Of course, also trending online this morning from last night's game, a scary moment at that game in Indianapolis when a referee collapsed.
Yeah, it really was. About 5 minutes into the first half of the Gonzaga-USC game, referee Bert Smith collapsed on the court. Now, he wasn't involved in a play or even struck by a player when he fell. Apparently, he'd just been feeling lightheaded before he fell. He was treated at the stadium and is doing okay this morning, and so glad to hear that. It was very scary to watch live on TV. They had to take 2 commercial breaks because it took that long, and just kind of an odd moment. Brenna tweeted out that she didn't see it, but she heard a loud thump because she was there covering, and glad to see him up and doing okay there. But maybe dehydrated. We don't really know the exact cause, but glad he says he's doing okay this morning.
Yeah, and you saw when he hit the floor, he just kind of stayed in that same position. Smart move on his part. You know, when you fall like that, you don't know what has happened to your body. So just staying still and not trying to move is actually the right thing to do. So scary, but good.
And we also had a tweet up from Brenna on the screen just a minute or so ago talking about how the first person to run over to his side, here it is, Gonzaga's own Tommy Lloyd. So good to see that that Bert Smith was the priority in that moment. Basketball took a hiatus for a time being just to make sure that his health was at the forefront of everyone's attention.
I would like to point out that that's probably one of many reasons the Pope's rooting for Gonzaga.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
All right, weather time. Let's get you out the door and let you know what to expect early on today. Now, the sun is still about 40 minutes from rising, but as it starts to crest, we are going to see those temperatures slowly start to... All right, found my clicker. Took me a second there, but here we go. 31 degrees now here across the inland northwest. I told you that this morning would be warmer than yesterday, and here we are sitting at 31 degrees in Spokane, and across the inland northwest, its temperatures dipping into the 20s in Moses Lake, Coeur d'Alene, and Sandpoint, but still warmer than where we were 24 hours ago. A light round of clouds moves its way out, and it leaves the way for nothing but sunshine to take us through the day. It's all about the sun today and a couple of clouds tonight, but all in all, it is going to be sunny and mild as we head through the day today. Temperatures soar. We are quickly in the 50s. By noon, we are warmer than where we were yesterday. I'm telling you, by noon, you will notice today is warmer than our warmest point we saw yesterday. And by the time we get into the afternoon, we're going to be up near 60 degrees. If you see me, I'll be the guy driving a convertible, top down, sunglasses on, and I will also be wearing a smile because I'll be enjoying this sun.
Here at 6:10 this morning, still to come on Up with KREM. After years without body cameras, most Spokane County deputies are expected to be wearing them by the end of the year. County officials now say the one thing coming between the sheriff's office having those body cameras is money.
There's this real need for transparency and accountability.
After the break, we'll tell you how a company and Spokane County are coming to a deal to get the deputies equipped.